What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Blue Collar Progressive here, aka BCP. I'm hanging out in Mobile Command once again, and I have another little react segment for you guys today. All right, so check it out. We're gonna be reacting to a channel by a cat, goes by the name of Luke Beasley. This segment is from the Luke Beasley Show, and another really good progressive channel that you guys should check out. Luke Beasley, he does pretty good work. We're going to be reacting to a segment from his show where he brings up Nick Fuentes and his recent complete 180 on the Epstein story going on here, right? So you guys have probably seen this already. Guy's just humiliating himself every day on his show. So anyways, when we come back, we're going to see if we can help answer the question that Luke asks about the psychology behind cats like Nick Fuentes. All right, people like Sneeko, Andrew Tate. All right, we know this new goth daddy guy. We know a few of these characters that have come out recently in the last couple of years into the politics game. And there's a word that Luke is searching for in the video, and I don't know if this is exactly what he's trying to say, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to finish his thoughts for him a little bit, and by introducing you guys to a personality disorder that is in psychology and called ODD, which stands for oppositional defiant disorder. Basically, my argument will be that these contradictory behaviors and ideas that he holds, they start to make a lot more sense when you understand what ODD is. And yeah, so go ahead and take a look at the clip from the Luke Beasley Show, and I'm going to be right back to discuss it.
I have my brand new USA quarter zip. This is very high quality. US flag on the side. And then we have the embroidered USA logo right here. You can zip it all the way up. You can zip it all the way down. Maybe if you're in like a tropical climate, you get a little warm.
And so then I show this to you because that prompted accounts like Greg the Groiper. So I'm just going to assume it's a Groiper.
Okay, real quick. If you guys didn't know, Groipers is a stupid name that Nick Fuentes gave to his followers. Stupid name for an even stupider group of people, if you will.
Greg says, I'm tired of pretending he didn't have aura about Epstein. So these are deeply mentally ill people. Like, that's just the world we're in. And something about mental illness to a certain extremity, and this is not stigmatizing other forms of mental illness, but whenever it manifests itself in political extremism and just psychological unwellness, in this weird, twisted way, it's incentivized in our social media driven world to the point where Nick would feel, and one of his fans who, let's see how many likes this got 9,000 likes, knows that in a sense, as provocative as you can be is the correct way to go on social media. That's the lesson people are learning. There's something so, I can't think of the word, like a misled adolescent thinking that just being rich and powerful is quote unquote cool, no matter what you do with that wealth and power. And that's why these same Groipers are like, hey, say what you will about Hitler, but he was cool, right? Nick Fuentes has been like, but he's just cool, like the edits and the crowds and because they're thinking, some of them are just like Nazis, and then that's why they like him and they want the killing. But some of them are just undeveloped people. Because look at the video that he posted of Epstein, this Groiper, this Nick Fuentes fan.
Could you please give us your name? Jeffrey Epstein. Molly my bean. 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 Molly my bean.
Is there something, is this person just a pedophile? That's the question. The person posting this. Or is it what I'm saying, which is like, I don't know, but he had like a private island and was like on top of the world for a while there. Like, what is the psychology of it?
Okay, so he ends us off there by asking us why. Like, what possesses a person to have this kind of politics, you know, this kind of just defiant, just any perceived authority has to go against it, right? Like, what possesses a person to have this, to grow up and get to such a late stage in life, and still be this kind of person? And my answer to you, Luke, is that you got to look into this personality disorder called ODD. What it is it's called oppositional defiant disorder, all right? And so, like, the colloquial understanding, or like the layman's idea of what ODD is that some of us have this weird thing hardwired into us where when we're told what to do, it pisses us off, all right? Okay, the classic example is the infamous stay off grass sign, right? There's something that just really makes you want to step on it, isn't there? Okay, well, all of us struggle with this to a certain extent, especially like when we're younger. When it persists through childhood and into adolescence and beyond, and when it becomes ruinous to the individual's daily interaction with the world, that's when it crosses a line into what the Manual of Psychology, or the DSM, it classifies as ODD, as oppositional defiant disorder. Okay, so let's take a look at the symptoms or the criteria of this disorder, and we'll see if you guys think it matches up and applies to Nick Fuentes or not. All right, oppositional defiant disorder is defined as a persistent pattern of angry, irritable mood, argumentative, defiant behavior, or vindictiveness lasting at least 6 months. All right, so this is not a terribly hard thing for people to potentially have, right? If they have a little bit of this like defiant streak to them and they don't lose it in adulthood, you can almost 100% say that somebody's dealing with this kind of oppositional defiance. We know we've encountered these types of people in our lives before. They're the kind of person that can't, you know, once a song gets too popular, they can't like it, right? They can't like the song because it's popular, even though it's might be objectively a good song, right? They always have to be on the cutting edge of things, and once something becomes popular, then it's whack and it's played out, right? So this is like back in high school, we used to call them like the hipsters, right? Like the person that's too cool for school, too cool for anything. So anyways, we're gonna take a look at a video that I found online as well that kind of further defines oppositional defiant disorder, and specifically when it comes to this argumentative and defiant behavior, which I think largely sums up Nick's case of ODD. So take a look here real quick and we'll come right back, all right?
What is oppositional defiant disorder? That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. Next is argumentative or defiant behavior. You often argue with authority figures. In children, this would be arguing with any adult, and adults argue with supervisors, store managers, or anyone in charge. It's like people in charge trigger you to want to challenge them. Another behavior in this category is defying the rules or refusing to comply with authority figures. Number 3 is you like to intentionally annoy people. An example of this for an adult is wearing really loud cologne to work, or talking loudly on your phone in a small room, not because you're singularly focused and just not paying attention to what's around you. You know your loud talking is bothering people and you get a kick out of it. And last in this category is you blame other people for your mistakes. It's like you don't take ownership of your failings.
Okay, now I'm not a complete dick, all right? Most of us deal with this sometimes. I used to be a bad kid. When I was in high school, I was the class clown. I was not paying attention to anything. I was joking around. Anything that they were talking about up there in the front of the class was only used by me as a joke. So I was constantly defying authority, constantly doing that. But the thing is that most of us grow up, right? When it persists into adulthood and starts affecting your life, that's when we're likely dealing with an ODD case, when I think a ODD case is likely.
Sometimes you gotta be the villain. Epstein's my boy, dude. Let's just be honest. Epstein was cool as fuck. There, I said it. What are you gonna do? Go ahead, cancel me.
Look at the way that he has to vomit out that statement. It's almost like he's got those intrusive thoughts that he's holding up inside of him, and he just has to let them go, right? He's like, Epstein was cool as fuck. He's like Cartman. He's like Cartman from South Park when he's got his Tourette's.
Now, all you need to remember here is that negative numbers...
10 pounds!
He gets the intrusive thought and he goes, okay, most of us grow up and grow out of this type of behavior. It doesn't get good reactions in real life, and so you throw the behavior out entirely. But like Luke says, this type of behavior is totally incentivized on social media. The more inflammatory, the more viral it goes, the more hurtful it is, the more reach it can potentially get, the more stir it causes in the comments. And it really is just a perverse incentive structure going on that fuels the whole thing going on with Nick Fuentes. I'm so tired of people like this. This conservatism is the new punk rock type crap. You hear Tim Pool saying that kind of shit all the time. Conservatism is the new punk rock. All right, these kids grew up in a world where inclusivity was finally a value that was strived for. All right, that's it. That's all. Okay? They're the kind of people who look at inclusivity initiatives, DEI programs, etc. as inherently exclusionary. All right? Statements like Black Lives Matter made them feel excluded. And I once heard a quote that I think sums up the psychology of this very simply, all right? Equality feels like oppression when you come from a position of privilege. Something like that. Equality feels like oppression when you're privileged. Okay, this is something that I try to remember before I catch myself responding reflexively to something. But these aren't the kind of people that are asking themselves why they are feeling a certain type of way, right? The overall point is that people with this disorder either aren't able to or outright cannot bring themselves to be thoughtful or reflective about their response patterns and behaviors in this kind of way. And I honestly feel like so many people's lives these days are defined by what they hate in this like oppositionally defiant way. Politics or personality by edginess, if you will. So when I watch these videos of guys my age like Sneeko that just go against the grain for fun, or spew hateful shit they don't even really stand behind, to me it just reeks of emotional immaturity and honestly of having a unchecked mental disorder. I hate to be blunt, but fuck it, man. I mean, these are the manosphere guys. These are the mind over matter, put up or shut up guys. Like, you're really just gonna make it your entire personality to go against anything popular? To the point of saying Epstein or Hitler is cool? Seriously? What a baby-brained way of viewing the world. God damn it. I don't take any of you seriously as thinkers or commentators. Just bozos. Absolute little kids with these massive platforms which bolster a perception of being some kind of intellectual. And then next thing you know, there's an army of these kids online having toddler-level discourse. Like this guy, Graper or whatever, or Chud the Builder, right? Whose entire politics are essentially based on fear of the other and ultimately their own inadequacy in the face of it. And to that, all I really have to say is grow the fuck up.
If I could yell tampon dick shit in the classroom, I'd be so happy.